Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are going to dive into BioCardia's latest filing, and let me tell you, it involves a bit of financial maneuvering that's a bit like a doctor trying to give a company a financial shot in the arm. They just completed a private placement, which is like a secret fundraising round, raising money for their future endeavors. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, if you're all about getting the inside scoop on what companies are really up to, hit that subscribe button below. Also, join the Discord community linked in the description for even more in-depth discussions. This report is all about what happened on June 30, 2025. This is when BioCardia reported a big move in how they're funding the company. The main event we are talking about is the purchase agreement. It's basically a contract where BioCardia agreed to sell shares and warrants, which are like coupons to buy more shares later, to a select group of investors. This is called a private placement, and it's not offered to the general public. Instead, it's offered to specific big investors. Let's talk about the actual deal. BioCardia is selling almost 275,000 shares of its common stock. They're also selling warrants, which allow the investors to buy another 275,000 shares later on. The price for each share and its warrant is about $27, is about $2.07. It's important to note the warrants are exercisable at $1.95 per share. The warrants have a 5-year lifespan lasting through June 2030. Here's where it gets a bit more interesting. Some of BioCardia's own executives and board members are participating in this private placement, which is essentially a vote of confidence, showing their commitment to the company's future. In total, they plan to invest $360,000 of the approximately $570 raised from the private placement. Let's break down who's investing and how much. Andrew Blank and Simon Sturzer, who are board members, are each putting in $150,000. Peter Altman, the CEO and also a board member, is investing $50,000. These investing $10,000, these investing $10,000, these investing $10,000, these investing $10,000. These investments from within the company can signal strong belief in its prospects, but it's also important to consider whether there might be other factors at play, like potential insider advantages. The company plans to use the money raised, which comes to about $570,000 before taking out fees, for general corporate purposes, which typically means funding day-to-day operations, research, or paying off debts. There is also a legal disclaimer here. These securities, which are shares and warrants, haven't been registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission or under state laws. This means they're relying on an exception, specifically Section 4A(2) of the Securities Act. This allows companies to avoid the usual registration process when selling to qualified investors. This basically means the investors confirmed they were sophisticated and understood the risks involved. BioCardia is promising to file a registration statement with the SEC around July 10, 2025 to allow these investors to freely resell their shares later on. They want to make sure that the registration statement is effective, which means it's approved by the SEC as soon as possible. And they plan to continue with the registration until all the shares are sold, or they can be sold without restrictions under something called Rule 144, or until June 2027. If you want to read the full legal details, the purchase agreement, including the warrant details, is included as an exhibit to this report. Now, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. BioCardia is betting on its Cardium cell therapy system. Their warrants also expire upon possible approval from the Japanese Pharmaceuticals and Medical Devices Agency, but extend through 2030 if that approval is not given. This explains why insiders are buying in. Hopefully they see the opportunity for exponential growth in their company, and they are betting on themselves to find success. The insider participation is a positive sign, suggesting confidence in the company's future, but the relatively small sum of money raised may be an indication that only these few believe in the potential upside. It will be important to monitor BioCardia's progress, and success in the regulatory and clinical process is key. So that's the story with BioCardia's latest funding round. What do you think they'll achieve with this cash injection? Is it a strategic move or a necessary lifeline? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this analysis helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.